Hey guys, welcome to Franklin Woodworks. In the last video I talked about a thing that I call perceived quality, and I think I need to clarify that a little bit. My definition of perceived quality is the first impression a player gets when he picks up a guitar. So the quality of the finish, the fretwork, maybe even the ergonomic layout of the controls. I didn't mean to imply that these were fake quality issues. They are by no means fake, but they have nothing to do with how the guitar is made. It is, however, a judgment on the builder of how much time they put into the little things, and the first impression one gets can be a pretty good measure of the quality of the overall construction of the guitar. Now, all that being said, mass-produced guitars can be a different ballgame. Large manufacturers generally have the finishing process down pretty good. Just go pick up a Squier Classic Vibe guitar. They look outstanding, they sound pretty good, and they're an excellent buy for the money. But the fretwork is going to be hit or miss. I've seen good ones, I've seen poor ones. I've also seen some with necks that are destined to be replaced in a couple of years because of poor wood choice. So I guess I was referring more to the small custom builders out there that maybe build 50 or less guitars a year. These are the guys that are putting their heart and soul into the instruments, but at the same time are trying to simplify their processes so they can make a profit. Which, by the way, doesn't apply to me since I've never sold a guitar, and I'd probably starve if I had to. But enough about that. Today I'm routing out the body for the control plate. I've already routed out the control cavity, but I need to make an additional route for the plate. I've decided to make the plate an integral part of the body instead of just a cover for a hole. I've set up another makeshift jig that will allow me to route a flat, level void in the body that will be filled with a piece of walnut. I have a very rough piece of walnut that I'm going to use. However, it may have some places that have to be filled. Before I begin to mill the walnut to the dimensions I need, I'm going to fill all the gaps I can with epoxy. I've colored the epoxy to be just a little darker than the walnut, so if any of the epoxy is exposed after the final milling, it will just look like part of the grain. And since the epoxy is thin, it will fill all the voids nicely. Once the epoxy is cured, milling, planing, sanding, and finishing are all the same. I don't have to do anything different. That's the great thing about epoxy. Of course, something had to go wrong, and fortunately for me, it was a camera. So I'll just have to show pictures of the finished product. The process for making the cover plate is simple. Now, I didn't say easy, I said simple. I have to slowly work my way, sanding, planing, cutting, to fit the inside edges to match the routing on the body. Now once that's done, it's a matter of tracing the outside edge along the outside of the body, cutting away the excess, and using a router to perfectly flush out the cover edge to the body. As you can see in these pictures, I use pins to keep the cover aligned during the routing, and I'll use the same pin locations for plate retention. And of course you have to sand the plate down so it's flush with the body. Not rocket science, but a lot of time. In the next video, I'm going to add some carbon fiber rods to the neck and do some repair work on the headstock. To be sure you don't miss the next video, you must subscribe to this channel, and the good folks at YouTube have made that very easy to do. Give this a thumbs up if you are so inclined, and as always, I'd love to hear your comments. So I'll see you next time, and there you go.